and sort of rounds out the front-to-back team that we're kind of building up a little bit here on LNG.
Yeah, the Nocturne is, in my mind, you don't want to let LNG get both, but they do have the Kiana,
so far waiting on that Paranoia, which of course is very, very iconic for the Nocturne, and I think pairs really well with this team. You know, if Orianna gets a little bit too close and we get a fight here with a Kali and Nocturne, I love the combination. It's a really good 1-2 punch. Sure, you don't have a lot of the stuns that maybe you want, but it is an insane amount of damage. Drake indeed falling in the background, getting really close to that 8 when you're shooting for the Void Grubs. I've got to imagine that LNG is going to looking for it. A Paranoia going to get locked down, trying to go for the Sivir as we get a dramatic pause right when it pops off. That's extremely unfortunate. Oh, man.
But the caster cams are still going.
We're gonna get out.
Oh, it's an in-game bug.
Oh, okay, good. Sivir's dead, though, apparently.
Yeah, okay, so there's a reason why it took us a little bit to get into that is First Blood going over to Team WE, and a very big investment because Cube teleported away from this objective.
About getting really close to going down, but the almost doesn't count on that one as we look for a fight over here on Void Grubs. First one going to go down easily to Monkey, but Krako just sort of circling around the side looking for something to happen. We don't have an equalizer, unfortunately, to throw down in that pit, which would have been super, super nice as the second one goes to, and it looks like we're going to try to respect our opponents, but Monkey immediately going to go into Kiana, able to get a massive ultimate, but do we have the damage to follow up? Krako sort of left here holding the pieces, is going to get their hands on a Void Grub, but going to get taken down by the Akali instead. Bulldog able to fight it out, but gonna worry about a Cassante immediately into their face. Sheer is here, but can we close the distance in time? We're trying to buy a little more time, but unfortunately it's just not gonna be enough as we go down, but that is gonna be a dead cube, and what a lot of spaghetti in game.
Coming through for WE. Experimental hex plate done for Monkey. It isn't a Hydra.
Opportunity, trying to lock in the Orianna. Shockwave going to come in, but Monkey does not care because with the Akali, that 1-2 punch I was talking about comes in, and now there's been too many more resources on this. LNG maybe just trying to bait out a little more than they can, and they did get the TP, just like you were talking about, as Cube comes down just to say hello, but that is also to match Sheer, because Sheer is getting a couple of plates.
To be an issue.
Absolutely. You know, luckily for LNG, though, right now we do have a couple. We're going to try to bait out something as Krako comes in, looking for an angle here on Cube. This could very quickly be
nice.
We do unfortunately miss the ult as the Paranoia comes in. Cube going down about half HP, but Nocturne is here for the save. Equalizer coming down, but unfortunately not doing what they need to. And this turns into a massive back and forward and just really a waste on a lot of resources.
That was a good find, though. I mean, you got flash out from Krako. Cube played that immaculately. Cancels out. Oh, this might be a solo kill.
Shockwave as the Kali, as Garrus able to close things in, and we go for the dive, picking up another kill, and Akali continues to get scarier. She can't move forward and do a lot of insane shenanigans, but that is an important tool to remember that you have, and League of Legends very much so rewards the turns and punishes the overextensions. Pandora gonna activate, Pandora gonna do a little bit as Kiana goes in, able to get a decent amount of damage, but unfortunately we just do not have the return. Change the Corruption is gonna miss, but Krako goes in and gets taken.
WE, one of the most promising rosters from last year, now keeping 3/5 of their lineup in the top side, changing bottom lane because they moved on. Taeyun's over in Nongshim. We have Vampire, who's going to be playing on JDG in Stage 2 of Demacia Cup. Super exciting what this team can do now, potentially with a little bit higher ceilings with this rookie AD carry. Scaris, potential for another solo kill.
Another Shockwave, and that just looks like we just saw another replay. I'm going to be honest, that seemed almost exactly how it went.
We'll be able to take the first turret of the game. WE are in such a good position here, and what I want to call into question was, how good was WE when their first opponent was FRK?
Position to grab this Drake because it's already sitting about half HP. Monkey very, very happy to just go ahead and take this, and it looks like it's going to be a Mountain Soul for them overall, which I've got to imagine is just going to make Karus even scarier.
Multiple dragon icons. Thankfully, the overlay at the top is just the right shade of black in terms of opacity, so you don't. We see Karus doing that by himself, solo killing the enemy mid twice in a row. And now you're in a position, Otacon is up and available, you have already this massive control around the top side, Cube can yet again teleport on this play, and LNG, it feels like they are one step behind constantly, and I want to just say that keeping most of your lineup from last year is so important. It gives you just that one step ahead of your opponents. A lot easier to plug in. I would say it's 80 carry. Support has a lot of timings where you have to move with your jungle, move with mid, but 80 carry in particular.
Activated as Kiana tries to buy a little bit of time. It looks like the exhaust coming in. Karis looking for an angle, looking for that damage.
What?
We're trying to return it, but Krako goes in immediately and just gets punished for it. That's really, really devastating because SantaCon is just
0 and 3. They're going to teleport Bulldog away to hopefully grab themselves the bot lane tier 1. But let's just take a look at how much experience this WE team's going to get. It's 12-9 in favor of WE for the Soul Petals. Now they're going to get...
I think everything is absolutely worked out in their favor.
It's really tough now for LNG to find much more. Good use of vision.
Pandora in. We're trying to look for a fight once again, but I gotta imagine this should go over really quickly as Karis able to get 1 and 2 kills there, grabbing a double kill, taking down the tank, taking down the cow like they were absolutely nothing. And
making good picks. I think the vision has been super impressive. And another player that we haven't really talked about for WE is their support. Yao Yao took an entire year off of playing competitive. Last time we saw him was in 2024. Now he comes back in. I had a lot of questions as to whether or not this bot lane duo is going to work, and still got a lot more of the year to play through. Karis now level 16 in a 2v1.
Ooh, look at the damage on Rumble as we go back in on the other side. Karis now chunking missing as we try to go in for a little bit of gank, but it looks like we return the damage instead. Heal coming in, buying themselves a little bit of space towers, which could provide a lot of the much needed gold, but it's going to be hard to do because this Baron's got to be pretty close to gone. Baronori going to get activated once again. Nocturne looking for an angle to go in, but thinking better of it. Choosing a good time, going to lock in on Krako. Krako in trouble. The exhaust coming down as unfortunately our ultimate hits absolutely nobody. Sivir trying to find the damage. We're only going to find death instead as Cube absolutely picks them off, grabs another kill. WE just not letting up the pressure whatsoever. Karis finding a nice pound of flesh to go for. Bulldog in trouble. Able to buy a little bit of time and spacing, just barely able to get out of that, but
9.5 minutes is basically the end of this one. 6,000 gold lead here for them, and a Mountain Soul near impossible for LNG to get over this one.
Absolutely, and I've got to admit, the damage on Varus, Krako got to run into a bit of danger as Karis trying to look for the damage, should be able to take them down solo, but it looks like Rumble's going to be here to try to turn things around. Equalizer coming down. There's going to be 2 Zonias pop there, trying to look for some sort of angle, but unfortunately, it's just not going to happen as is able to dish out the damage time and time again, and WE is knocking at mid's door, taking another...
Here in this game, WE, they take down the mid-tier 2, they'll grab the Baron, they'll recall, and then kind of the map is their oyster to play around. They have the massive gold lead. They have the experience leads. Like
in the game, maybe he gets a little CC here and there, but like, how do we follow it up? We don't have the damage on Bulldog right now, unfortunately. We're sitting at 0-4. Going to start a fight over here. Karis might actually get taken down there as the Pandora going to get activated, trying to look for the distance. Karis getting close to going down. Krako going for the hunt. Is the equalizer comes down. We go back in, finally getting to shut down. This might be a little bit of oxygen in the lungs on the other side, but Bulldog left here holding the bag. Gonna go down. Sure, we got 1 kill, but we still have the Baron, and we're knocking at another T2.
We got the shutdown, but at what cost here? Get another turret here for WE. They get 2 kills in trade, and they still have Baron for another minute and a half. Mountain Soul makes this an immountable kind of damage that they have to be able to deal. See how much they have to invest just to get a single one down onto WE. Inhibitor is going to be cracked here. No mid-wave to play for, but maybe they just end the game.
I think they have all the tools to do that. Alistair is up, but what is he going to be able to do here into all of these insane odds? Nocturne trying to lock down Rumble. Unfortunately, not able to find the angle, but we've got these cannon minions just sort of here chipping away at the base. 1 tower is going to go down. Going to transition over into the T3, and just LNG doesn't have a lot they can do. There's just not a lot they can respond with. Krako looking desperately for some sort of angle to go in and lock this team down, but it's going to be a big ask. Even if we get in there, we might just get taken taken down, and the turn goes in, and there it is, that turn exactly what I was talking about as the Pandora gets activated, as we just try to lock him down. Buy a little more time there with an ultimate as we fight underneath the tower. Alistair able to buy a little bit of time, but unfortunately it's just not going to be enough as Krako ultimately goes down on the other end. Equalizer there on Monkey. Monkey almost going to get taken down. Does indeed go down on the other end, but we're losing more and more members for LNG. This might be an angle to go for as the Zonia gets activated, but Karis still here able to do. There's going to be the shockwave. Lots of back and forward. Cube absolutely able to dish out the damage. Varus doing the exact same thing, and more members for LNG just continue to fall.
The flash used by both of our AD carries, 1xN, will survive. It'll be more gold being picked up by LNG, but it's another turret to get out of their base. Missing, does a Hex Flash over the wall. Thankfully doesn't get punished by the rest of WE immediately trying to pounce on him. Monkey turns off the light cube in the back line.
Krako gonna get isolated as we start a fight over here. There's an absolute cuddle puddle here for this one as we try to lock down and deal a good chunk of damage. Karis able to absolutely rock member after member. There's only 2 left here for the defense, and we're trying to go for the whole enchilada. Grabbing another one, and that is gonna be a full ace for the other side. Double kill for Karis, and it doesn't matter because game number 1 is gonna be over. WE taking this first point, taking the Nexus.
Wow, that was a massive flank yet again from Cube. A middle of the pack player who...
No Corki, unfortunately, for me. I still want to see it, even if it doesn't make a lot of strategic sense. But it's not my game for sure. But we get a pretty rounded out team here. I like
Monkey,
what we got.
Again, the most pivotal part of this composition and team is a good way to put them on the back foot. What are we doing?
Already starting off with a Bard stun as Krako has to go over the wall. Damage already coming in as Monkey starts off strong. Actually, about Yanara is able to pick it up, which I think is
1xN and missing make their way. I know he has no flash on Monkey.
Make a collapse. Monkey in trouble, gonna get knocked back, and this is that tempo change I think that they needed. Bulldog and maybe get their hands on this Drake, and we're gonna look for a fight over here between Krako and of course Monkey. Krako goes in, dealing a good chunk of damage to Monkey as we go down about half HP. There is going to be the ultimate for Mbessa, but unfortunately not a whole bunch going to happen. Talia there to try to cut off the other side, looking for an angle here on Monkey, but most importantly try to lock down the Yanara as we do get taken down. Karis going to fall to pieces, unfortunately.
He's already kind of out of that position, and so you now traded the enemy mid laner for the Dragon. Good punish coming from LNG, and something that even with the level 1, which I was very sad and disappointed with, I kind of was already mentally getting ready for LNG to continue their losing
pressure
way.
And just never letting up is kind of what WE did to them, and it looks like we're sort of returning the favor. Cube looking for an angle to go in. There's going to be the ultimate trying to lock them down. We are exactly going to do that. Able to do a good chunk of damage. Karis able to unfortunately run into the majority of the team. Is turning a 2v2 fight there on the bottom as Sheer is looking for a kill, is looking for more and more. Bulldog in trouble. Getting the shutdown will be super great for the other end. We try to get the knockup. We do eventually get the kill as Yanara trying to buy a little bit of spacing and distance. WE able to take down member after member. Azir is still up. We're looking for the angle. Okay, what a solid Ezreal ultimate right there, picking up a double kill. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's going to be late. Talia has to use ult if they want to get into this spot right now. This is a Dragon going over. This was a very tight timer for WE to find, and if they make this punish onto Monkey, he can still flash if he needs it.
Talia having to blow a flash in order to get out of that, but I don't blame them whatsoever. And for the most part, other than one summoner ability down, we take those. Nice little Drake there for WE. Doesn't bode particularly well for LNG losing that, but it's not over just quite yet. Just one Drake is not going to turn the game around in WE's favor, and we're looking for a gank right now, trying to lock him down underneath the tower as Krako goes in, activating the Crescent Guard. Another one from Ezreal coming in, but unfortunately it's just not going to matter. More and more going down. WE in trouble. This fight still underneath tower as Shearer looking for the damage, taking down the Rise. We're going to get 3 kills in a tower. That's a little devastating for WE.
Very punishing by the way that Cube ended up teleporting back to
you know, they're already looking in a really great spot as they take down the Shelly.
Right now, it's just going to be Herald being taken, and maybe Talia even gets a full turret to herself. It is 2 grubs here, and while there isn't plates, it's a pretty stacked minion wave. You have Xin Zhao in the area, Braum's also waiting. Monkey's going to come here to just pick up this mini wave, make sure that someone's getting this golden experience. Bard's on this side, does have ultimate available.
There's going to be the Tempered Fate coming down. Redemption on the other end, looking to
Oh
lock
my
down
God,
this tower.
Krako.
Tower is indeed going to go down. We're able to get at least one stun. Cube is here looking for, unfortunately, he does not have the ultimate. There is going to be Bessa going in. Monkey able to pick up a kill. Things are not looking good for LNG. They don't have the rest of the team here, and the response time for WE is too powerful as we pick up another kill. Ezreal looking for another cross-the-map snipe, but unfortunately, it's not going to be good enough as Monkey picks up a triple kill.
3 kills to this Mbessa, and all of that gold going straight into his pocket. He outplays on such fine margins. Also, Krako doesn't die there, I'm pretty sure, because the tower dies and loses the fortification or the heating up buff. Oh my god, About almost gets outplayed. Oh my god, he dies to red buff there. Yunara picking up the kill, so a big turn.
That sort of skirmishing back and forward, and I think that does show the power of Yunara. Okay, we're going back into the game. It looks like Shelly's already going to get deployed down.
Tough, man. They don't even get the turret here. They'll get it afterwards. They'll be able to push them off of this. Dragon spawns in 20. They need to spend some of this gold for it to be worth it.
We're going to try to match the Malphite as Cube is able to take the tower. So even though we don't lock down the Drake, we're able to get our hands at least on some sort of objective.
Malphite getting 300 gold feels good. Zahen's going to be able to match alongside the bottom
Something
lane.
out, the Malphite ultimate is down, so it's not the worst strategy.
So, Bao was late to this, but they're on separate sides. Cube has no ultimate. We're never contesting this. WE, I think the look for Bulldog was an okay idea, but they lost control of the mid lane. Zahen's actually just making a very short distance TP to get him back in the mid lane, and this gives a position here for WE to look.
Redemption coming down, and we're looking for a fight. We might get the autocon. We might cost us our lives.
Oh!
There it is. And Bessa going in. We're trying to lock him down, but Monkey unfortunately got to pick up CC after CC as the Crescent Guard gets activated. LNG looking for the damage. LNG looking to continue to turn this around. They got the autocon, and now they're able to grab these fights as we get a 3-man Tempered Fate, but it just does not matter as 1xN finishes his 1v1, looking for another kill on Bard as we go in. Rise on the run, and I think Bard might be the only one that makes it out of this carnage.
Oh, WE, why are we going for the fight? We could have just given up the autocon. It's a few flower petals going over. Karis is going to die. He loses his flash. The same could be said for most of his team members there. And Yao Yao, I don't know what we're waiting for.
4-0 lead, which is absolutely frightening. Truly being a raid boss right now. Looking for a fight right now. Speaking of Onshir, the rune going down, locking them down. But can we be able to turn this around? Can we do 1v5? I don't think we can. We should still have a passive. No, we get taken down by Monkey. That's really unfortunate. And that does tie up our score. Pretty close to already up. Very, very similar to Ashe in that regard. So it's nice to see Tempered Fate coming down, locking down 1xN. This is a good opportunity as Malphite goes in, closing the distance. Unfortunately, hitting a big whole bunch of nothing. Exhaust coming down back and forward, about going to get isolated just a little bit, but it does finally wear off on the other end. But we're immediately going to go back in. Sheer trying to close the distance. Bard trying to help out, but unfortunately, it's just not going to be in time. Rise trying to escape, but it's just not going to happen in return.
That might just be the end of the game. They've got 2 grubs, and there's only a Malphite and a Bard to save them. LNG fought back here in this game. An early invade that goes awry, but just strong fundamentals playing around the map and punishing WE.
Cube going in, unfortunately going to get taken down, and this indeed is going to be the end of game number 2 between LNG and WE. We're moving into game number 3, which means I finally get absolutely...
When I look at these compositions immediately, I don't want to say they have a lack of damage here, but try to just keep him trapped under this. I think this is really smart, making sure that Cube cannot answer on the other side of the map. We're seeing a play towards the bottom side as Monkey goes into 1xN, but there's no follow-up here. What is he doing?
Dying. That's what he's doing, because that's exactly what happened. Double Jace happened, but unfortunately one Jace had a lot of...
Because WE are deciding to play for this objective from mid lane.
WE not in the greatest spot as Bulldog comes in looking for their knockups and their taunt. This should be a dead Nautilus, which means we can transition this easily into a couple of Void Grubs.
Your opponents are expecting. Now LNG, are they going to really get their cake and eat it too? If they find this pick onto Monkey and onto Sion, they can grab Dragon after.
Ooh, starting to fight on the Rumble. Rumble does indeed go down as Scion provide a lot of space in here for Monkey, and we're just sort of allowed to get this kill for free without really a whole bunch of response, missing at least throwing a headbutt in there, just saying, something. Galio into the... Okay, I thought we were going to get a kill over there. Monkey going to get turned around on immediately, really suffering that bit of gold difference as Croco tries to close in the distance, looking for the kill. Still can go either way. Unfortunately, it's just not going to happen. There it is, Croco absolutely chunking the other side as most of WE just sort of gets caught here inside the jungle, but about looking for an angle, trying to lock down Croco. This would be a nice shutdown on the Varus, and he does indeed get it, so at least we're able to get our hands on something.
Oh, and sheer TP to the other side.
Gold being about the exact same thing. And then across the board, it looks like everything's pretty even. We're going for another, or at least, is that the first Drake? I think that's our first Drake of the game at about 12 minutes, so a very, very late Drake. Oh, man, look at that return right there on Croco. Heroic entrance going to come in. Unfortunately, not able to get anyone. Monkey in a little bit of trouble as Croco goes in for the distance. The taunt going to come in, locking down Varus #1. As Scion comes in from downtown, locking down, missing. The exhaust going to come on top of the Scion, trying to lock him down, but this should be a dead cow. Yes, indeed. He buys time for his team. Now, Rumble here trying to pick up a little bit of pieces there with a mop, but look, Karis going in, looking for the damage. Karis looking for another kill as Croco goes down. This Akali is absolutely phenomenal. Can we do it again? Can we get sheer? It's going to be hard. That's 2 to go into. Cube is here looking for a knock up there. And Varus by a little more time here for Karis, but it doesn't matter as we flash forward, pick up a kill, and trade our life to take down the mid laner.
Oh, Karis gets a lot of gold there, but look at him to contest. 1xN does teleport back into the mid lane, and Sheer can answer. We're seeing both the Akali and the Rumble trying to figure out when and where they can teleport in right now. Karis is late.
Going in. Heroic entrance, unfortunately hitting absolutely no one. That's not what you want to see. We're going to lock down Yao, taking a good chunk of damage, but unfortunately able to stay alive as Galio gets caught there by a hook. Going to get taken down, fall to pieces. Bulldog. Everybody's starting to melt now at this point with double Jace. It's absolute shenanigans as Croco goes in but gets taken down by Varus once again. Cube left here holding the pieces and is indeed going to go down. LNG looking in top form as Scion goes down.
Oh my god. I was wondering when that equalizer was going to come out, and Bulldog taunt flash from Croco to just put this Monkey, or put Monkey into the waiting arms of his team.
We're going to go from replay into at least a little bit of fight over here. I believe missing went down. I don't think that's going to be another down for that side. And so we're going to be able to turn this into a Drake for WE. And that's going to be really, really important. Each one of these objectives is going to be important for... I've got to imagine their mental and their morale at this point. Because this game is... this series, I guess I say, is starting to drag on overall. And I think LNG might have been going into this... or so WE might have been going into this expecting to sort of 2-0 LNG. It's hard to know their mental for sure, but they're giving a lot of trouble. There's going to be a chain of corruption going down for LNG's in, so that's going to be an important tool no longer in their wheelhouse. And a couple things to note too. We've got a couple of flashes down. It looks like
they still have to spend their gold and all.
I feel like that's maybe one of their primary advantages is just lean into the Scion trying to find that positioning. The vision score is going to be so important leading up to this objective because, if we do win this fight, we can turn this into 2 objectives. The equalizer coming down on Cube. Cube just refusing to take damage whatsoever. Missing, able to provide a lot of spacing, pushing Cube directly into the other side. Scion finally going down. That's going to be the kill. That's going to be the number advantage that we need for LNG. WE looking in not the best spot as we do start autocon, at least trying to push the other side back, but at this point just wait for the objective and maybe try to go for it. I guess we could be up at that time, but that's gonna be nice for LNG.
It looks like they want to get a recall in. Missing wants to reset and get some wards right now. W are keeping it leashed, but it's such a easy position for them to play. You have Galio in mid. He can keep this wave versus the Varus. He can actually even maybe force a summoner spell or 2 out from him if he feels like he's being aggressive.
WE, I suppose, but it has just been back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and no one is really moving. In goes Yao. Decent chunk onto Croco, who flashes away, but on Blurder, the Mortal is for it. Chains of Corruption onto Cube. Doesn't have his ult yet still. Potentially looking to jump on him. The Electro Harpoon just shy. Down a member, 5v4. Well, they're going to look for that mid turret instead, probably. Eyes on the Atakan, though. Teleport for Yao Yao. Don't want to give that turret up. Croco's being sent for it, but he's the jungler. Okay, well, it doesn't matter. Fine. Didn't have smite by the looks of it, used it partway through the play. But he's gone for the Eclipse for a bit more dueling. He does not have the Cyrildas, and that means the poke right now from Croco, which is landing regularly, has been stinging really hard. It's also giving a lot of first strike gold. Cube, Yao Yao, they do finally get that mid lane tier 1 missing. Taken low, yet to burn ult. Oh, he's too late with that. Flash available, burns it. Gone quite deep, sheer flashes the other way. This is messy, hang on. Monkey can look for a shot blast call. Bulldog in the front line, chains of corruption. Redemption comes on forwards, equalizer down. Cube taken low, Cube also having a flash away. Piercing arrow not enough. They get one onto Bulldog. Karis looking to get behind here, won't be able to quite catch 1xN.
So much damage, and it looks like this one's going to turn into a Drake for WE.
Wow. This was what we saw in game number 1. Missing just takes a little bit too much damage before fights, and that makes sense. That makes sense that that's happening. Okay, we're going for double Serpent's Fang. All right, guys. If LNG win, it's not because of items, it's because their champions are just too damn OP. All right. Cube, you have a lot of armor here, and the flash to block it.
No. Flash, yeah, we're just down. There's nothing we can do. There's the numbers advantage right before the Baron is up. There's going to be dead Scion, fake alive Scion for the current moment. Trying to close it. Going to really struggle there with that one. Position, but taking so much damage from the poke. This poke is just absolutely insane. Jace with the Varus are absolutely crazy.
Wait a minute.
Missing go.
这样落地金身拖时间进峡阵，对面伤害太高了。孙武他有2段标杀2万，溜之了，拜拜，炮又架起来了，勾到了，接腐败锁链，兰博大招撒的一般啊，补了个小炮，布道哥开金身拖时间，孙武还挂上了，谢尔也开金身，有点帅，哎，布道哥操作了，有点上头了，包的，而且这个E没撒好，全是
BWE losing out on the fight. Bulldog moves forward. Croco moves forward. Don't have enough ability haste. Oh, 1xN almost gets caught. It's a flash away. Sion's gonna move forward. Isn't able to find all that much. Cube just goes down for free, and this is now gonna be a Baron at half.
Absolutely, Baron sitting at half a cube. It's absolutely melted. Damage absolutely phenomenal as I make my way back, and this Varus is still just going back and forward. And despite the fact that we knocked down Sion for what is it now, the 4th time, we're still struggling to close the distance on this Baron and close out the game. It really is just dragging on. We're getting close to that 40-minute mark, which means we're building up to what my prediction is. I'm still predicting a 50-minute game, Alk.
No. Well, look, Sion's perfect for that, and especially in these mirror matchups, it's kind of what you're able to do. Now, oh man, this is so tough. Why are we contesting for this? Oh my god.
No! Monkey going down inside his own jungle. Equalizer coming down as Missing takes a good chunk of that damage, but I don't think they care as we're able to do the Chains of Corruption and pick up another support. These supports just feel like they're made out of butter.
There's just no tank stats. We're not seeing like Locket. We don't have Aftershock. We don't have Guardian. We just have Unsealed Spellbook and a lot of HP thanks to these redemption rushes. Yao Yao goes down, Missing goes down, Bulldog and Monkey fall for
so important, and we've already seen the insane amount of poke we have before that as 1xN almost gets taken down, but it looks like we had the Change of Corruption and a couple other things. Buying plenty of distance, Cube getting absolutely melted by 1xN, Missing having to blow their ultimate, but it's already going to be down. We're going to get at least 1 Q on Cube as the rest of the team manages to go in for WE, taking them down. Double kill on the Galio. Things are not looking good for WE as member after member goes down, leaving Karis the only one to hold the bag.
That might just be the end of the game. I mean, Missing has teleport, and this is 3 grubs and a very fed Jace. That turret is paper mache at this point. That could be, yeah, I think this is the end. 35 seconds before multiple members of WE are back, and LNG are going to secure first place in Group B.
Absolutely. Missing coming in with that TP, and I can't imagine at this point there's anything they can do to turn it around other than maybe disconnect the router of their opponents. Karis going in, trying to buy some time there with the Zonias, able to at least do a little bit of juking, but at what cost for sure? Heroic's entrance is going to get interrupted, but it does not matter as the Nexus gets targeted. We're trying to pad our stats, though, and pick up a couple kills. Nexus is indeed going to go down to LNG. LNG taking this to...